The Hunt for Red October, Tom Clancy.
Dude, you good? I'm filming.
Hi everyone. Double-decker bus here. Miss Wright's busiest English student. And today I will be analyzing and reviewing The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy. This book was written by the famous late author Tom Clancy, a man who primarily wrote realistic fiction novels about the late Cold War and multiple wars in the Middle East that followed. This book is the first one in the Jack Ryan series, whatever that means, and was his maiden book back in 1984. The era which this book reflects has long passed, however, many of its aspects can still be seen today in modern politics. So, without further ado, let's get into it. This book revolves around the defecting of a submarine captain and his crew out of his desire to leave the USSR. Marco Ramius, the captain of the Red October submarine, believed the USSR stripped him of everything he held close to his heart. And if you don't know what the USSR is...
Are you kidding me? Are you really kidding me right now? You don't know what the USSR is? How could you, huh? Just open up a textbook. I'm telling you, that's all you have to do. Textbooks are great. They're your friend.
Yep.
This post was made by Blue Screen Gang. Are we back? We're back. Chapter 3 specifically mentions the banning of religion on top of the loss of his wife as a result of malpractice by the surgeon that operated on her. Yeah, he was drunk. That's actually what it said in the book. That's what it said right here in chapter 3. Yes, it says here, right here, right? Glad you stuck around because I wasn't going to give it to you originally.
2,000 years later.
Alright, here we go. I'm gonna do a time lapse on this, don't worry.
One eternity later.
Oh, here we go. Alright, so as it says on page 33, the surgeon on call has arrived at the hospital late and drunk and allowed himself too much time breathing pure oxygen to sober up before starting the simple procedure of removing an inflamed appendix. Bam. Drunk, not sober. Sober up, folks. Is that good? Hi, everybody. Doritos Man here. The book also follows Jack Ryan, a man who works in the offices of the CIA as an agent that earned his first field job with the breakthrough in the investigation of Marco's intentions. As the story progresses, a large amount of Soviet naval ships are found moving towards the Atlantic Fleet of the United States, at which the United States grew concerned. I mean, I'd be pretty concerned if my number one enemy was sending all of their naval ships at me. That's a little scary. Yeah, I'd say so. Out of this mystery, the Prime Minister of the Soviet Union arrived at the White House to discuss the retrieval of the submarine with American assistance. Ooh. Capitalism, communism, team up? Capitalism, communism, team up?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Upon the discovery of the Red October by the USS Dallas, another submarine, Jack Ryan was sent out into the field to determine if Marco Ramius was moving towards the United States in order to defect from the Soviet Union, or if it was a surprise attack, since this new Red October submarine also had a silent drive system in it, meaning that the United States would be unable to trace it because sonar wouldn't be able to pick it up. Before he could step foot on the Red October to discuss terms with Marco, the American naval officers present were very resentful towards the Soviet crew and were unwilling to make any attempt to communicate with them. It required Jack to utilize his charisma to convince the naval officers to allow him on board, and he was so successful that he got some people to join him. He had friends. It was like multiplayer, like multiplayer campaign. It was kind of like that. Like World of Warcraft, but Soviets.
Miss Wright will get that because she plays World of Warcraft.
Exactly. Are you still
Dude,
filming?
Yeah.
Dude!
Nice, man. Dude, yeah.
Dude. Nice. World of Warcraft references. Gotta get more XP, man. In the final climactic scenes of the book, Marco, Jack, and the others in the Red October managed to transport the entire crew onto US naval ships, and they were able to fend off the other Soviet submarine that was signaled by the government to sink the Red October, and because they considered it an act of treason for trying to defect. It makes sense, reasonably so. They may be communists, but like, they're not savages. Shout out to my other analysis on the blue screen. Take it off the blue screen. Put it on Michael's face. Take it off Michael's face. Together, the Soviets and Americans were able to divert the pathway the torpedoes launched at them by the other Soviet submarine, and they managed to save the Red October and its passengers from an explosive and untimely demise. In the end, the Americans took the Red October into their possession. The crew was saved and spared by the Soviet government. Jack Ryan was praised for his efforts for a job well done, and Marco was granted asylum to the United States. So ultimately it was a win-win-win-win-win-win-win. So, Chicken Coop, I've got a question. Why is this important? What's the whole point of this? Why is this significant? Why do we care about some random CIA agent and some Russian guy who wants to be free? I don't know. You tell me. One, this story demonstrates the importance of trust, a sense of cooperation, and the desire for freedom, regardless of the obstacles that are in front of you. Kind of like this stool is right in front of me. I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to do anything.
Did you want me to show this stool?
No.
It's not in frame.
With the US and numerous naval captains led to believe that Marco will launch a surprise attack on the United States, Jack Ryan stuck to his initial thoughts and reasoning. By utilizing his charisma, as mentioned before, with a hint of luck, he is able to single-handedly... Hi, Tomer.
You have to restart that, don't you?
No, I don't. I'm just gonna cut it. Utilizing his charisma and, as I mentioned before, along with a hint of luck, he was able to single-handedly win over the entire US naval crew and gain their assistance with recovering Marco. And this also indicates trust because he does not deviate from his beliefs because he is capable of seeing the bigger picture. He sees the forest instead of the singular tree, if you will. With his use of common sense and great knowledge of Marco, he has more know-how on the Soviet captain than everybody else in the Navy. One example of how he indicated this, in the middle of the book, he mentioned there was a special maneuver that they call Crazy Ivan. And from what he was able to determine about Marco is that his protocol is that he does it every hour on the hour. So he tells the USS Dallas, which was the other submarine, that he was going to do that. Lo and behold, he did it. So at that point, that kind of won him over because it was like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. Maybe we should listen to him. That's pretty cool. There's something cool on that blue screen. That won everybody over because if they knew he was able to do this, then what else does he know? So utilizing that logic, the Navy was able to determine if he knew that, he probably knows a lot more about him than we know. He was able to utilize this to his advantage and he was able to win over everybody. This book also highlights cooperation between people of such opposite forces, such as the US and the USSR. When the Red October was being attacked by another Soviet submarine, the American and Soviet forces on board utilized their abilities and tricks involving submarines to successfully evade the torpedoes fired at them, and they were able to successfully destroy the enemy submarine without any major casualties for those on the Red October. That's pretty impressive. Are we rolling? Finally, this book highlights one's desire for freedom regardless of the obstacles they face. Marco as a character has a fairly legitimate reason for defecting the Soviet Union, as Chapter 3 highlighted his struggle with living in the USSR and having his wife stripped from him and his religion indirectly, all this was, mind you, indirectly stripped by the established government and society. It's this feeling of loss and hopelessness that Marco believes his only salvation would be reaching the United States. In doing so, he was forced to evade the entire Atlantic fleet of the Soviet Union. He had the odds stacked so highly against him. So why would he go through all this effort to steal a submarine and to defect to the United States if the chances of him getting there successfully are slim to none? So, as I mentioned before, all of this was happening, yet he still carried out his plan, which to me is very inspiring, actually. It's the determination and confidence that fueled Marco's desire to reach freedom, regardless of having to evade and outsmart the might of the most powerful communist country ever. And so now allow me to get to my review. Overall, the book was fantastic. I definitely would read it again. I'd recommend for other people to read it. My only issue with the book was the progression of it. I feel the character discovered the mysteries too quickly, and once I hit about the 200-page mark, I was like,
oh no, another mystery about the anomalies? Oh my god, what's gonna happen? No way. It's not like they're just gonna figure it out in one chapter and then not even mention it again and just keep going on with their lives.
Oh wait, they do.
and somehow in one chapter it just gets magically resolved. Magic. Yeah.
Proud of that one?
Yeah.
Great content. Really great, man.
Yeah, I'm proud of that one. Alright. I'm leaving. Alright. Don't finish the project without me. So, as a result of what I mentioned before, I believe that the book should have been a little bit longer, so that way there was more time between discovering something and then figuring out what it means. You know, I feel like they got to the resolution a little bit too quickly, and if the book was another maybe 100, 150 pages longer, that it wouldn't feel so rushed, and it would feel a little bit more, you know, spaced out, and there would be room for more events, more plot. And usually I don't say that I want a longer book, but in this case I feel as if that would be the better call, just because of, you know, as I mentioned before, the mysteries did not take that long to solve at all. And so I'd say I'd give Tom Clancy's debut novel a strong 8 to a light 9. Overall, yeah, it was very good. Very good. That was great. That was pretty good. I'd say so myself. But again, strong 8 to a light 9. Transition. Did you read the book? Did you like it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. Make sure to leave a like if you liked. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. What should I review next? And don't hate, mate. If you really don't like how I reviewed this book, just leave a nasty comment down in the comments below that I'm most likely never gonna read. And so with that, I say Tom Clancy, Red October, and forever.
Yeah.